So with the rumors of Apple buying out a big Hollywood outlet, specifically Sony, let's talk about what this would mean for the industry and specifically for Spider-Man. So naturally, the Hollywood industry is always seeing shakeups when it comes to canceled movies, people shifting jobs, and of course, major buyouts between either like contracts or renewals from one studio to another or something happening. But the most recent is going to be pretty big considering that Sony hasn't really been in a good position for well over a decade really now, and we know that the landscape of media is changing to one that is far less of pay for your service all in one like Comcast and get everything, get TV and everything bundled. People are slowly moving to all streaming, and it's really the wave of the future. I mean, it makes the most amount of sense. I can pick what I want and I'll watch that, and I'm still in the long run, even if I subscribe to everything, saving more money. So it makes sense. So Sony doesn't really have a foot in the door when it comes to this. They got the PlayStation Network, but that can't meet the demand of what they need to survive in Hollywood, right? And when it comes to this, the reports that Apple is looking to buy them and is probably going to buy them is very much valid. Now, at the same time, people have to understand it's something I've talked about before when we talked, all the way back about what happens if Sony ever gets bought out. And we were talking about this last year and the year before, really. And this is the fact that if they're bought out, the Spider-Man character rights and everything reverts back to the original owner, which would now be Disney Marvel. Essentially, these rights are not transferable between new studios because when this happens, the old, I guess you could say, a caretaker, right? Let's call them the old caretakers of these rights, which would be Sony. They essentially don't exist anymore as they were. So these contracts are now, nullified and they go back to where they were. And this is more or less in every one of these because these were put in place to prevent crazy things from happening because Hollywood is crazy. So on one hand, you're probably looking at a world where if this sale does end up happening in the next year, Marvel automatically regains these characters, which is pretty awesome for fans.